With great power comes great responsibility.
With DIY home gym comes DIY accessories. Let's build it.
These clips show how the slots were cut from part 1. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it at the top right. Subscribe button is on that video too, if you still haven't given that a click. So we roughly cut a 2x4 to the length that we wanted to have a few inches of overhang on each side. And you'll notice the 2x4, usually dimensional lumber, will have a bow. And you want the crown side on top because we're gonna have the weight in the middle. That'll help. But so we're gonna mark on each slot. We'll do this on the other side as well. So we're back at the slot and we need to know the depth that we used. I mean, obviously it should be half the width of this 4x4, but just in case, we'll take our combination square and mark the depth of the cut for 2x4, and we'll transfer that over to the saw blade. With the drill bit representing the same thickness of the kerf of the blade, I've set up a stop block to cut the width of the 4x4 on the rack. To set up, off camera, I line up the blade to the inside of my furthest mark, place in an offcut of scrap 4x4, and then clamp down a stop block. After removing the 4x4, made the first cut with the drill bit between the stop block and the crossbeam. Exchanged the bit with the 4x4 and made the second cut. Then took the rest of the day to make the other 50 passes. Always wanting to be in every shot, huh? So I'll store the 2x4 up here, and that way I can just flip it over and see if I can do this with one hand here. And that'll also keep this from racking a little bit. So I'll have pulley here, pulley here, pulley here. The weight will come down the middle. High pulley will be for tricep extensions. Low pulley will be for curls. And should go sand it now and get it all ready. I used 3 ceiling mounted pulleys for this system. With a pair of vice grips, I applied pressure to the frame and removed the pin. Then the barrel can be removed along with the wheel. After marking the center of the cross beam, went ahead and transferred the whole locations to the wood, where the pulley is going to go in the center and also on the side. Then we're going to take this Forstner bit and drill some counter bores first, and then drill all the way through for the bolt. Probably could have drilled partially through and then finished with a regular drill, but oh well. To attach the pulley, a 3.5 by 1/4 inch bolt with a washer and a nylon locking nut was used. After marking the location for the low pulley, I then drilled out the holes for its bolts freehand, and not exactly straight as you'll see. Hole locations from the top were transferred to the underside. Counterbores were drilled at the bottom for the bolt heads while using my safety squints. This created a big mess, which had to be taken care of before the wife returned. You will notice the center of the Forstner bit does not line up with the drill bit, but we can fix that with the same trick from the first video. Not pretty, but functional.
Pretty bad.
Wire cutters can be used to cut the cable. It's easier to cut the layer of vinyl coating first and then cut all the way through the wire. The vinyl coating needs to be removed at the ends where the thimble will go. Quick note, the wire thimble should be sized to the diameter of the wire without the vinyl coating. I first placed on a stopper sleeve with hopes that it would keep the rope from going too far into the pulley. Next was the swage sleeve, making a loop in the middle for the wire thimble. I used a piece of electrical tape to keep the wire from pulling back through and to keep the frayed strands from poking me. After placing the wire thimble in the middle, I pulled the wire tight. To secure, I bought this cheap model swage tool, and it worked just fine. Put the first swage at the front of the sleeve, then the back, and then the middle. Once again, not pretty, but functional. We'll come back to this in a moment, but first, let's work on the setup for the dip bar. Same process from the first video. Drilled some holes, applied paint to match the wall, and attached. The dip bar consists of a 10-inch threaded black pipe with 90-degree elbows, which are attached to the flange by a closed steel nipple. This allowed plenty of space for my hand to fit when doing dips. Next, place the bar in equal height to the barbell by using a level and marking the location for one hole. After installing one screw, I could then level out the dip bar on the wall. Pre-drill the holes and drive the remaining screws. Slight oversight. Now it sits about 8 inches from the 2x6 and about 9.5 from the wall. So aside from the pulleys and cables we already use, here's some other accessories we're going to need. Here is that 1/2-inch cap that we drilled through just a minute ago with a 2-inch eye bolt with a nut on the end, just like this. We're going to need 3 spring links to complete the pulley system. This is 3.5-inch
Here's a 2-inch weld ring. Here's our loading pin, which the cap goes on top of. There's a 1/2 inch diameter, 8-inch long black pipe. And then this is our V-bar, 3/4 inch elbow, 6-inch, 3/4 inch black pipe, 3/4 inch flange, and put the weld ring on the middle. And this is our tricep press down rope. This is 3/8 inch diamond braided rope. This is monkey fist on the bottom with a alpine butterfly loop right here, and electrical tape to kind of keep it, and then it's kind of braided. This is all one piece of rope. And if you want to see how to make this, let me know and I could do a video on that. And then also water, you need it. Thanks for watching. Now you've seen part 1 and part 2. Stay tuned for part 3. We're going to work on some storage for the barbell and the weights. Until then, I should probably do a couple more reps. See ya.